NCIS may be one of the most popular television series of all time, but they have had their bad moments. Of course, over time, we have seen the show decline in quality, but even early on, there were some moments that fans didn't agree with. So what was going on with NCIS? Well, stay tuned to today's video as we're going to discuss the 2 NCIS scenes that went way too far. First up, we have a concluding scene with an identity theft is too ridiculous. Keeping crime realistic somewhat goes out the window the deeper that you get into NCIS. As the seasons go on, crime seemed to mean less and less. But this was actually also the case in an early season of the show. During season 8 of NCIS, there's a minor storyline in the episode, Freedom, that deals with McGee. In this episode, McGee is the victim of identity fraud. He and DiNozzo discover that someone has spent 10 grand on his card and spent it all on blow-up dolls, video games, and comic books. We get DiNozzo making a joke that it's a teenager's dream, and that sparks something in their investigation into who did it. They later found out that the culprit was actually McGee's landlady's son, who took keys to McGee's place and took his credit card. They head over to confront the kid, and here is where we get a scene that went too far. Instead of punishing the kid for what he did and reporting him to authorities in the office, they instead just mess around. Instead of telling the kid off, he instead asks for $50 as the minimum fraud charge. Nick then lounges back in his room full of all the stuff he purchased and makes a mom joke to McGee. There's no punishment for Nick, and in the end we see McGee and DiNozzo forget about the 10 grand that McGee got stolen from him. For such a procedural crime show, NCIS seemingly dropped the ball with this scene. Realistically, Nick should have been sent to juvenile hall, while his mother should have paid McGee back. Instead, the episode ends without Nick suffering some type of consequence, or at the very least, admitting what he did was wrong. It comes off as so ludicrous, as sitcoms have probably handled this type of plot better. This episode was just stupid, and it went too far for a crime-based TV show. What do you think? Let us know down in the comment section below. And our other scene that went too far is Emily Furnell's death felt like too much for fans. Killing off characters is something that NCIS has done a lot over the years, and it's not always something that the fans agree with. From the death of Ziva to the many fake deaths of Gibbs over the years, fans just hate when it's done poorly. They seemingly kill off everyone that wants to leave the show in some shape or form. However, when killing a character who has been around for 14 seasons and the fan base has seen grow up, fans really hate it. During a storyline in season 18 of the show, the daughter of FBI agent Tobias Furnell, Emily Furnell, was admitted to hospital. She had been in the show with her father since season 4, which means the fan base saw this girl grow up and reappear throughout different storylines over the years. She was in the hospital and died due to a so-called winter illness after a storyline filled with drugs and other things. Fans were completely devastated by the reveal and hated what the writers chose to do with this beloved character. One viewer tweeted their unhappiness, and with the development writing, "First Breena dies, and now Emily Furnell?" Another Twitter user agreed, observing that NCIS had seemingly been focused on killing off female characters. Laura Hurley of Cinema Blend argued in more detail that on the whole, however, this was just an emotional blow that NCIS didn't need to deliver at this point in season 18. She also recommended that the series' writers could have added 1 or 2 episodes before killing off Emily to soften the blow. The show hasn't killed Gibbs as of yet, and that clearly would destroy the fan base and mean the end of the series for many of them. He may be leaving the series, but at least they didn't kill him off for no reason. What do you think? Let us know down below. And now we have some other NCIS content. Next up we have, what does the future of NCIS look like? We all know that NCIS has been going on for nearly 20 years at this point, and over time the series has declined in quality. The first few seasons of the show were just amazing. The dynamic between each of our main characters and how all the storylines were intertwined with one ongoing narrative between them all. Over time, we fell in love with each of the characters, and they did as well. We got relationships between some of them, and of course, deaths of a few as well. Over time, cast members departed from the show as it went on, and for various reasons. As the show went on, the stories got worse and the characters left. One of the biggest departures was Michael Weatherly as DiNozzo. He was easily one of the best characters on the show, and his departure really was the beginning of the end from the fan perspective. We then saw the character of Abby leave the show, and of course Gibbs recently. Gibbs has been on the back burner for many years now as the actor wanted to take a step back into a producer and writer role. His character was taken back and others replaced him. The newer cast of the show aren't the best according to fans, and they really just don't enjoy them as much as the original crew. Gibbs had a few interesting storylines over the years and some fake-out deaths as well. You could see that the writers were teasing the audience and testing them with the possible death of Gibbs in the near future. Nowadays, Gibbs may have left the show but will probably return down the line. The actor is now a producer on the show and a consultant on story and writing decisions. The show is basically a different thing nowadays, and it's clear that it's not going well. Viewership might not be as high as it once was, but it's not at the point of being canceled yet either. That's the weird thing about this show right now. The entire original cast are basically gone, but people still tune in because many have done so for over a decade now. It's hard for them to just depart from the show because it's been a part of them for as many years now. It seems like NCIS won't be getting canceled, but might just end in the near future. It would be so nice to have the original cast return in some shape or form for one final episode to really send off this beloved series with a nice note. What do you think about this? Let us know down in the comment section below. This NCIS Los Angeles star is on Instagram fueling rumors about the show ending soon. Though the NCIS fan base is still pretty strong, overall they aren't the biggest anymore. Over the years, the shows have seemingly dwindled in quality. The original series is the one with the most hits because the vast majority of the original cast has departed from the show over the past few years. Even now, we have seen Gibbs finally leave the show. The spin-off series have always been pretty popular as well. From NCIS New Orleans to NCIS Los Angeles, they always have a pretty high viewer count with each episode that aired on television. However, when news came out earlier last year that NCIS New Orleans would be canceled after its 7th season run, fans were scared for the other shows. They always knew that a show like NCIS wasn't as popular anymore and therefore could be cut at any point. But actually seeing it happen really concerned many people. The biggest actor in the other spin-off series, NCIS Los Angeles, is Eric Christian Olsen. He really carries the series. But from a cryptic message on his Instagram account, he might be leaving the series altogether. During an Instagram post on New Year's Eve, he posted an image of himself on the set of the current season. But the hashtags below really riled up fans. Rather than having some simple hashtags to promote the image, the actor chose some very specific ones. Amongst a few were hashtag final season, and this is what scared fans. Though nothing has been really said about this season of NCIS Los Angeles being its final one, now fans are assuming that an announcement will come in the next few months as the series wraps up filming. Before all the fans began spiraling out of control, he later clarified that he was only joking, but you never know as well. He clearly messed up and needed to cover his back, but at the end of the day, no one will be surprised now if the series actually does come to an end. And that's the end of today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed this latest video. If you did, would you please let us know down in the comment section below? It would be very helpful. Make sure to like the video, comment down below, and of course, subscribe to the channel with that notification bell rung. Thank you for watching today's video. Bye!